So I have to say, I am really excited. The SmallRig Cage for the Red Komodo finally came in. It's been a few months of waiting, and today I'm going to talk about why I think it's probably one of the best cages available for the Red Komodo and why it may fit your needs. Let's hit it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Geoff Fagien. I'm a filmmaker and DP based in South Florida. And today we're talking about why I believe the Red Komodo cage from SmallRig is probably one of the best cages available, not only for the money, but just for the features that it has. So let's get into why I believe this is the best cage for the Red Komodo. So the number one selling feature for me was the built-in Nato rails. You have a built-in Nato rail on the top of the cage, also on the sides of the cage, which is really neat because SmallRig sells a lot of accessories that are Nato rail specific, and by having these rails built in, you don't have to bolt an additional piece on top of the camera. If you've seen some of my other videos, I've had a Nato rail on top of this camera since I received it. And being able to have the rails built in just makes the rig look a lot more sleek. If I had to say one negative about it, the only thing I would say is that all of the Nato rails don't have the stopping pins on them. So if you're a nitpicker about that, then just know they're not here. But for me, that's not really a big issue because with Nato rails, you just clamp them in and they're locking in place. The other thing this cage has is it has two Arri Rosettes. It has one on the left side up here at the top, which I doubt I'll use, but I think they had to do it there so it didn't block any ports. And then it has another one on the right side, which is where I have this wooden handle from SmallRig placed into the cage itself. I find the Arri Rosette on the right side is just much more comfortable, and I'll be holding the camera a lot often like this. The other thing too is I ended up getting this additional handle from SmallRig that's actually a Nato rig based handle, and I can just slide it into the top here and I can now have handles on both sides of the camera, and this SmallRig handle also has an additional Nato rail built in, so even though it takes up my top Nato rail, it gives me an additional one, so it kind of gives me what it takes. Like typical cages, there are 1/4 inch threads all around this cage, and there's an Arri locking pin here on the top. Another thing, which is why I had to get a cage, is the threads on the bottom of the cage itself. It has a bunch of 1/4 inch threads and it has one 3/8 inch thread. By having these threads on the bottom, it gives you extra places to lock into your tripod or your gimbal, and it's a lot more of a professional connection to have on set. Speaking of the bottom of the camera, the cage also comes with tools or accessories to actually put the camera and screw it or unscrew it out of the cage. Also to take the cage apart if you need to. The tools that come with it are pretty tightly secured in this magnetic locking on the bottom. As you see, I'm wiggling and there really is no movement, so I'm not really going to worry about, any kind of micro jitters or anything that it may cause. And then here I'm going to put in the wrench and boom. I'm moving it pretty hard and I hear nothing. So the other thing that I've lightly gone over is the accessories for this cage. Now, SmallRig touts themselves as Legos for filmmakers. Unlike some of the other companies that have come out with cages specifically for the Red Komodo, like Zacuto, Tilta, Shape, SmallRig has a bunch of accessories that work across all of their line of cages. So although it doesn't come in a bundled package, if you go to their website, you'll see they're pushing this handle really hard. They're pushing a lot of their other accessories, so you can go out to Amazon or wherever you want to get your SmallRig parts from, and you can get a lot of SmallRig specific accessories or other Nato rail type accessories from other companies, and they'll work with this cage. And that's really why I like this cage, because it's widely customizable and you can just get a bunch of different parts and piece your own custom cage together without having to get these really expensive bundles from other companies. So if you guys have any questions that I didn't go over with the SmallRig cage, please feel free to put them in the comments below, as I'm going to be doing a lot of content using this setup. And if you guys got knowledge out of today's video, please make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And until next time, my name's Geoff Fagien. I'll see you guys in the next one.